Hello, everyone. I have a meeting that has just been scheduled for tomorrow during our faculty meeting. So instead of trying to reschedule and mess up small groups after school and all that, I thought I would just do a recording of the faculty meeting. And then, of course, if you have any questions, like follow up with me later. So the meeting tomorrow that has been scheduled, if you are not aware, IDPH and ISBE have released an updated document regarding schools and in-person learning and all that. So as a group of administrators, we're going to sit down and look through the document and determine if that changes anything for us or whatnot. So more information to come regarding all that. So good afternoon, good morning, whenever you're watching this. I will have a time when I get with Sherelle and Carol to pass on the Cactus Award. So that will be to come, or we may just wait till the next faculty meeting for that too. So at the board meeting tonight, I obviously have not been there yet. So I know as far as the agenda goes, one thing that is actually not on this board meeting, but for next board meeting, because I didn't get it in time, is that last month I had announced that we would have Shannon Daniel here with us teaching kindergarten. She has resigned, so that actually is going to be approved next month's board meeting, and I also have a recommendation to go towards the board. So the first time I did interviews, I interviewed several, and there were two candidates that I was really going back and forth on, Shannon and this other young lady. And so I am confident that things have a way of working themselves out, and I know that my new recommendation will be a great fit here. So more information to come about that. Fireproofing. So at our last ROE visit, they brought up the fact that several classrooms have curtains either up over their windows or curtains down, like hiding your recess things and whatnot. So if you have curtains or any kind of cloth material that's hanging in your room or covering things, that those items need to be sprayed with a fire retardant spray that Mike has. So if you have any material, cloth, curtains, whatnot, up in your room, you need to take those things down, put a little paper clipped on it or something with your name on it so we know who goes to what. But you need to take those things down to the cafeteria and leave them in there so that over spring break Mike can spray those. And then from here on out, you cannot put anything up that is material, cloth, curtains, all those types of things. You cannot put those things up until they have been sprayed. So if there is something that you're wanting to put up, you need to talk with Mike and get Mike to spray them before you put them up, because we also have to keep record of what's been sprayed, where is it hanging, and all of that good stuff. So curtains and things down before you leave for spring break and put in the cafeteria. And then when you return from spring break, I'm just going to have Mike keep everything in the cafeteria. So just pick it up and take it back to your room when you get back from break. Number 5 on your list, school supply. So I have attached the school supply list. Please look over it. If you have any changes you want to make to that, please email me that. Again, just like we've done in the past, I want a consistent list for kindergarten, a consistent list for preschool. So if there are changes, it's something I'll send out to everyone and see if it's something that everyone wants, or if it's just individually, I'll have you send that just to your parents once we get back into school for next year. So look over the school supply list and send me any changes that you want to make for the school supply list before you leave for break. Summer school. So we are going to be able to offer summer school to our students throughout the district, free of charge for parents, which is wonderful. But right now, we're just wanting to get preliminary numbers of how many students we believe will be attending summer school so that we can make sure that we have enough staff members to cover it. So I want you to also email me a list of how many students you believe in your class you will be recommending for summer school. So send me how many kids you think will be recommended for summer school this summer. Thank you. The next item on the list is retention. So this is a hot item this year with going to remote learning at the end of last school year, having remote learning this school year, the pandemic, all of that. We recognize, I think, as a whole that it has impacted students. So I need you to start thinking about students that you are considering to retain. But with that being said, we need to be mindful that it is not logistically possible to retain as many students as we would based on the old criteria, if that makes sense. So if they're in the past, we have really focused in on students that are reading at a level 0. And that's a fine standard to have in a normal year. But if there are 45 students this year not reading at a level 1 yet, it wouldn't be possible for us to retain 45 students and then have our normal group of students come in next year also, unless we want to have 30 or so kids in a classroom, which we don't want that. So we need to really be mindful of the students that we are recommending to retain, recognizing that everyone has been under the same circumstances. So grade levels are going to have to differentiate and teach differently next year to make up for some of the learning loss that has happened because of last year and the start of this year. So with that being said, I will put the retention rubric in your mailbox. You can make copies for how many ever students you are wondering whether we should retain or not. So you will have that to copy. I'll put it in there today, actually. You just need to complete a rubric for the students that you're considering for retention. And you may end up filling it out and being like, oh, well, I guess we're okay there. Because it will tell you at the bottom, like, how many check marks they need to be a strong candidate. And with that being said, just because someone is a strong candidate doesn't mean that retention is required or retention is best. So that is for you and I to talk about later. So complete the retention rubric for students you're considering for retention. This will be in your mailbox. With keeping in your mind the situation that we're all in, that every student is in. I am asking that if there is a student in your classroom that you are going to be recommending retention, that you have a spring concert. No, don't have a concert. You can have a concert if you want, but have a spring conference with their parents. So spring conferences are coming up. So go ahead and schedule those. And at that meeting, that's a time for you to set up interventions with the parents or set up strategies with the parents to see if we can make up the skills so that they don't have to be retained. So set up that spring conference. In the past, a PST really has been required for any student that is going to be retained. This year, I think we need to do that a little bit differently. I do think that it's a good idea to get into a PST if it is a student that you're like, yes, they need to be retained. Just so, again, we can set up strategies, we can put in interventions in place to hopefully boost them enough to get them where they can move on successfully to first grade. If the retention is due to attendance or disengagement, I don't think a PST is really designed for that. So the PSTs would be reserved for your students that you feel like, okay, they are missing these skills. I need suggestions from the PST team on things to do in my classroom to help build those skills. So the PST is recommended, not required. I need the retention rubrics that you filled out. I need those turned in to me by April 1st, please. And then once you've turned those in, I'll set up a meeting with you and we can discuss those students to determine, do we think that retention is a go? Is there other things that we can do for the student? Will summer school help? All of that good stuff. And just so we're all on the same page, the retention priority kids are going to be those that are disengaged, not attending regularly, bad attendance, remote learners that aren't getting on. So really we need to reserve the spots for those students that really didn't attend kindergarten this year, and then they can attend kindergarten next year. So just so you're aware of that. So I think that really is everything on my agenda. You all are going to want me to record the faculty meetings from now on because it's only at 11 minutes and 40 seconds, so that's pretty cool. But so at the bottom, just because I'm taping this, I can go over this too. Scentsy, Pink Zebra, any kind of warmers, air fresheners, those really need to be removed from your classroom. We got dinged on that again from our ROE visit. There is a way that you can have those things, but it requires paperwork and all of this stuff. And I just think it's easier to blanket statement that Scentsy, Pink Zebra, warmers, air fresheners, have them in your home, not at school. We also were reminded at our last administrative meeting that good circulation is recommended with COVID and all that good stuff. So it's getting nice outside, and Chad just wanted us to remind everyone that feel free to have your windows open and get fresh air throughout the classrooms. And then the last piece of information on the bottom section is that it is nice out. And it is an expectation that all kids are going outside for recess. If it is raining, of course you can have inside recess, but now that it's nice, the temperature is up above our threshold every day. So please take the students outside, let them get fresh air. It is good for them. It is good for you. Katie does put the green, red, yellow sign up on the front glass doors by the B door every day. So she will mark on days when it's raining, but of course we all know. So please take them outside on the days that you can. I think that is all I have for you today. So warm regards. Have a nice evening whenever you're watching this, and I will, see you in the hallway today. Bye.